right now in front of me, sports director Matt McCoy, former running back Jeff Logan. Jeffrey, good to see you as always.
Good morning.
And on the live line, former coach of the Ohio State University and now Fox Sports commentary, Urban Meyer. Coach, it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to talk to you guys.
I tell you what, this is a big game. I mean, it's not the team up north big, but, Coach, this is a game the Buckeyes flat have to win. What do they got to do to make it happen?
Well, they got to do what they've been doing, and anytime it's a big game, we had a saying around there that, and it's still there, that the most prepared team will win. And, you know, they're more talented. Let's call it as it is. They're more talented than Penn State. They have to keep the ball in front of them on defense. KJ Hamler is the biggest threat that they have. Penn State, they have to keep them in front, keep the ball in front of them, and not give up. They're playing more zone coverage than they've had in the past, which is good, which, you know, the lesser chance of a big play. So that's the biggest thing, is just keep that Penn State offensive skill in front of them.
I got to ask you, Coach, when you are watching, you know, you went through it, obviously, the Wisconsin game when you guys were on site for that one, and obviously tomorrow you're going to be on site. Are you calm? Are you nervous? Do you feel like you're still coaching? What are the emotions like for Urban Meyer watching these guys? I mean, tomorrow it's senior day. These guys that you recruited their last game in the stadium, what is it like for you to be watching this develop in front of you?
Well, I go over the facility quite a bit and have lunch with the players, see the players. I'll go to practice once in a while, and I was sitting there talking to KJ Hill and a bunch of the guys yesterday, and, you know, that 2015 class, you know, it didn't start off real good. You know, we've had great recruiting classes, and I used to call them the misfits there for a while because we had some guys that weren't exactly living up to the standards that we expected, but boy, did they turn out to be great. You know, they're going to go down as back-to-back Big Ten champs, and then however they finish this year, one of the top-ranked teams in America. So I've never been more proud. We have a great head coach, great staff, great support staff, and, you know, it's every coach's dream to hand it off, and it's in a strong place and a chance to even make it stronger, and that's the dream that's happened.
You know, Herbs, in watching this football team, I remember a year ago seeing a prolific offense, thinking we would never see an offense like that again, and boom, we see another terrific offense. But to me, the difference in this football team that makes them dominating this year is the fact that they have a defense that is no longer an embarrassment to Ohio State. They are terrific. What's the same cast of characters? What happened?
A year older and a year healthier. You know, last year they went through some, you know, we had some schematic issues too, but we, at one point, Nick Bosa, the best player in America, left our program, and then Chase Young was hurt for the majority of the year. So we just had some personnel and injury issues, but also, you know, they're really well coached up right now on defense. The guys are playing great. The guys understand what they're doing. You know, the one thing is they've not had that tough one yet either. You know, it's like they played Wisconsin, who was their best team that they played against, and snuffed them out. You know, Ryan's concern as his mind is what happens when it goes into the fourth quarter, because at some point it's going to do that. But the schedule was very conducive. All the tough ones were at home. You know, and you know, this week and next week are going to identify so much of what the season was all about.
You know, the one holdover on that defensive staff, Coach, is Larry Johnson, who spent, couple decades at Penn State. You get him to come over to Ohio State. How valuable is he? And, I mean, having coached with him, is this just another week for him, or is there something different for him because of his ties to Penn State playing this game?
No, it's different for him. You know, I think it's as time grew on, he's a Buckeye now. You know, for the first few years, I would have him talk to the team, and the games that we've had with Penn State have been phenomenal, and he was always knee deep right in the middle of it. But I think like anything, time moves on, and now he's a scarlet and gray guy, and you know, he has so many great memories of his time at Penn State, and it was interesting there for a while, and that was the one guy I allowed to do it, but he would have some of the former Penn State guys come visit him. And, you know, how I am, I'm so, I mean, certified nut job about that. So, but I'd let those guys come in because first of all, they're great dudes. And then, you know, Larry Johnson is Larry Johnson. And he's meant so much to me, to Ohio State football. what he's done for this place is phenomenal.
Absolutely great stuff. Sports director Matt McCoy, former running back Jeff Logan, Urban Meyer, our guest. I heard you had a little fun at the Pine House last night.
Yeah, all the Fox people are in town, and they like it. This is our second time here, and they stay in that hotel right near there, and we had that's a great little restaurant for people to gather, and my kids were with us and just hanging out. Had some great there's incredible. It's great food, great people, but all the stuff on the walls, and it's kind of cool to go visit there.
Herb, I'm going to throw this out to my golf partner because there's a rumor going around that now that you're not having to coach on Saturday and all through the week and everything, that you may have appeared at Augusta National in the last couple of weeks.
What?
And if that were to occur, I must have missed my invitation.
It did happen, and you never got it, huh? Too bad, because it was a hell of a time. I'm sorry you missed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the number?
88 and then 81 the next day. 81 was
81?
Good for you.
That's a heck of a round.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was, we stayed in the Eisenhower cabin, and it was incredible.
I got you. Urban, it's funny, we talk so much about this team this year, and it's, 2 quarters, and that second quarter, Ohio State blows everybody off the field, and we don't worry about, JK or Justin being in the game and all that. This one feels like it's going to go at least 3, or do you think it might go more?
Oh, I just think Ohio State is so healthy right now, and so much of that's for Alabama. I kind of been, now that I get to see everyone's schedule, and it's when you get the consistent beatdown is when, you get guys hurt, and we had that a couple times over the past few years where you go, you have some incredible comeback victory, and then you got to go on the road to Iowa, and Ohio State plays 9 conference games, and not everybody does that. And the way the schedule is set up this year for Ohio State was perfect. I mean, you're talking about 2 teams that are really down right now, Maryland and Rutgers, and then a bye week tied in there. I mean, they're as healthy, as fresh as you can be. Jeff, you played. Usually this time of year, you got duct tape holding that team together.
Absolutely.
And that's not the case. And for whatever reason, the Big Ten is down a little bit. Certain teams some of them are really down. And so that is so key. Where Penn State's had a little bit of a war, and their guys are banged up a little bit. So it's not just the health of the team. It's who have you played. It's the energy level or fatigue that your team's dealing with. And Ohio State is, I can't remember ever being in this situation week 11 where everyone's healthy, everyone's fresh, and the schedule worked out perfectly. So I don't think this will be close.
Hey, Coach, I got to ask you, there was a video going around this week looking back at the last time Penn State was in the stadium, and that was the J.T. Barrett game where you guys had the big comeback. It was like a 5-minute montage, and there was a scene in it that just made me shake my head and smile. And it was right before JT went on the field for the last drive to put you guys ahead. And they showed the defense get the stop, and they show him get a fist bump from Joe Burrow and then a slap on the shoulder from Dwayne Haskins before he went out there. And I just laughed. I go, my gosh, that was 2 years ago. In the most prolific quarterback in Big Ten history, a guy that's probably going to win the Heisman this year, and a guy that was a first-round draft pick and a Heisman finalist last year. In the moment, when you've recruited and you have a quarterback room like that, do you realize that it's that special?
You do, but everything moves so fast. You think about when I first got here, you had, Braxton Miller and then Cardell Jones and J.T. Barrett.
Right.
And then Joe Burrow turns in that group. And so much of it is recruiting, but so much of it is development. And Joe Burrow was, not the highest recruited guy, a guy that Tom Herman really believed in. He came in and had so far to go, but the one thing that all those guys shared was incredible work ethic. I mean, ridiculous as far as, staying after. And, they went out and visited this guy named Tom House, and he worked on their mechanics. And then, it was every day with Joe and JT and Dwayne. And to see it happen, and now it's, it's like you're like a proud father because the one thing, they couldn't be better people. And Joe Burrows, he'll tell you, he's always going to be a big part of him is going to be a Buckeye for the rest of his life. He comes back every year and talks, and I text with him each week, and it's incredible to see that those guys have that success.
Yeah, well, Coach, there's a lot of people that want to see Ohio State LSU on the field at some point this year. It'll be a blast. We got to roll for traffic and weather, but I got to ask. I know it's next week, but I want one thought from Urban Meyer on the team up north.
Well, it's a little bit of concerning. They're playing very good right now. You know, they were not good early in the year, and a credit to the leaders and their staff. I mean, they are playing very good football. They don't have the dogs on defense they had a year ago. All those draft picks, and so the coaching staff is doing a much better job, a really good job of scheming. You know, they're doing so many different things on defense now. They weren't doing that before when they had Rashawn Gary and Winovich and, you know, those guys. But they don't have them. They have good players, but they don't have those first rounders. So they're playing very good, very confident. I just dislike that place so much up there that you know, I always worry about going up there. But I think we win 8 in a row against them.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Good stuff, Coach Urban Meyer. Thank you very much for the time. Jeff, Logan.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, partner.
Prince.
I appreciate your help.
Right there. Always good stuff. And Sports Director Matt McCoy talking Buckeyes.